Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, Sondermarkin, and I'm here again to bring you a Kerbal Space Program video. Now, as some of you saw my trailer that I put up a little bit ago about sending a space plane to the moon and returning back to Kerbal Space Center. This specific design has been in the works for quite some time. I've been working on getting a space plane to land on the moon and get it back to the Kerbal Space Center for a couple of months now. So right when I made the breakthrough to be able to let it land on the moon safely, it's because that's the biggest problem. It's actually being able to let it hit the moon without blowing up safely. I was super happy, and that's why I made a trailer for it. It's because it's fun. So let's not just sit around here talking. Let's show you the space plane. As you can see, the booster stages are quite a bit huge. We have lots of engines going on here. As you can see over here, it's 72 plus 24. I don't want to plus 11. And yeah, there's just a lot. And then we have my good old space plane, which I call rocket in the middle, because there's a rocket in the middle. Simply like that. And it's not the most efficient space plane out there. I just wanted to be able to launch it just to see if I could get it to the moon. And so we have this huge, ginormous launch vehicle. Then we have these stages right here. This stage brings us down and has enough fuel, and I usually decouple this at 1 kilometer above the moon's surface. And then this is the lander. These wing parts are some of the they're basically the only things that I found to be strong enough to be able to land on the moon. So there's that. And then I take so I land on them in that extra 1,000 feet, and then I take off with them, and I make it. Usually, I'm able to make it all the way into a orbital re-entry path to Kerbal Space Center, depending on how efficient I am with the fuel, of course. And then we have the actual space plane that has a lot of fuel in it, a lot. Like, you can fly at least 1/3 of the way around Kerbin, like, in its atmosphere. But let's stop talking here and let's actually launch this sucker. Now, the biggest problem that I found with this is the launch. The launch is amazingly laggy. You get about half a frame a second. So I'm gonna be recording it, but I won't give a voiceover for it because what's that sound? Are those engines going? What? That's odd. We'll just disable them right now. It's amazingly laggy, and as you can see from me just turning it around, I've just gotten used to it. Deactivate. There you go. And so, whoa. So I will just fast forward this launching sequence until where it's actually able to be seen by you guys without getting headaches. So, see you in orbit. Okay, I guess we're okay, queuing right now. So I just barely noticed that we're in direct line of the moon. So I thought might as well let's just go straight for the moon. And there goes that stage, and it should be the frame should start speeding up once those go out of our area. Here we'll pause it to get the frames to catch up a little bit. There we go. And so instead of just making it forward, we're just gonna straight for the moon. Hoorah! Funness. But as you saw, it's pretty unbearable. It's nearly unbearable to fly. There's a lot of things needed to, a lot of concentration needed to fly it. Oh yeah, and as you can see at the top, my altimeter is slightly let me go back to the base. My altimeter is stuck. On my way to the moon, I'll fix that real quick. You just have to go to the Space Center and then relog into the ship, and it should be a-okay. So once I get onto an intercept course with the moon, we will do that. Where is the sun? Okay, so I want to get around the back of the moon. So I'll go in here slowly. Go, para-apsis over there, 47, that works. And yeah, so let's get a little bit out there. Ship is under acceleration, I don't care, let's do that. And we will be leaving Kerbin behind. Use one fuel tank from here, and we're on the second one, just barely. And we'll get halfway there. Out and log back in. Oh, well, let's stop right there, and I'll bring you back in right when I log back in. And here we go, we're back in and we're heading towards the moon. Where is the moon? Where is the moon? Oh, there it is. Fun stuff. We'll be landing on that shortly. So, crazy orbits going on here. And if you don't know what I'm doing here, I actually just extended the orbital prediction. I like it because you can figure out how to slingshot things like that. See, I go all the way up there if I slingshot. But we'll intercept the moon's sphere of influence. There we go. And we will stop right here. Oh yeah, I have to pull that back up. Sweet, let's save real quick, do a manual save. I do that with this just because it's just so difficult to get this all the way out here to land. Here, let's speed up those frames. There we go. Better. Around 6. It's better than 1. I would claim. And I think my claims would be correct. There we go. Lining it up for deceleration. Speed up those frames again real quick. There we go. I actually just barely found out about that, so. But yeah. Funness. Oh, and FYI, all those people that love me talking about NASA news and all that fun stuff, a new expedition just went up to ISS, I think. Pretty sure. Hope I'm not wrong about that. I saw that on NASA. Or they may be going up soon. One of those two. We'll be landing in these planes. That's not being happy. Just changing our vector. And we'll be on an intercept course to the ground. Hoorah. How do you like them beans? I'd say them beans would be quite good. Yummy beans. But here we go. Landing on the moon with a space plane. And this is actually quite a heavy vehicle. If you couldn't tell. That's why I need all that thrust in the booster stages. Because it's a bit heavy. Oh, I'm quite low here already. So I'll go down to 50. That's when I usually do a burn to a deceleration burn, and that's what happens if it starts happening too quickly. There we go. And an alignment burn, because we're not in the we're in the orbital sphere of influence, but no, we're not on the surface sphere of influence since the moon is rotating, and so that's why the nav ball changes a bit when you jump from orbit to surface, because it then has to calculate where you are considering the surface speed. I'll just do a low and long burn, changing my vector to go more vertical rather than that little horizontal, because that little horizontal will screw me over when I'm near the ground, which is never fun, because you don't want to get this thing way out here and then have it blow up in your face. I've had that happen many a times. That's why I learned to quick save a lot. Call me a cheater doing that, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier to practice. See, right there, that's the surface change. Let's check our fuel. There we go. Looks like our fuel's glitched out on the side. Oh well. Just trying to line it up here. And if it's completely glitched out to the point where it gives us fuel, I'll just dump it. Don't want to cheat. Because cheating's lame. That's what makes this so challenging, because, oh yeah, and this is all vanilla, if you guys didn't notice. I love playing the vanilla version. I'm not tired of it yet, so I'll just keep on playing it until I get tired of it. And there's nothing you guys can tell me to convince me to change. Actually, there probably is something, but not right now. 'Cause I created a space plane, which is fun to fly. Sorry for that. But yeah, we're just waiting, doing a couple burns, making sure we don't slam into the surface, because that'd be quite unfortunate. But here's a question for you guys. What do you guys want to see from Kerbal Space Program further? What do you want to see, like, done? I know there was the land on the sun idea that I'm going to start working on. We're getting to the 1,000 mark, which was interesting. What other things do you guys want to see me do? Give me a challenge, because we've done a lot of stuff in this latest version. Quite a bit of stuff. Can't wait till they come out with the next version, 1.9.16. That will be awesome, because probably they're completely redesigning the atmospheric mechanic, which sorely needs to be redesigned. Yeah. Okay, this is where I will separate them. Go. And now we'll go crashing into the surface below us. Now it'll actually tell us how far away the surface is. Oh, 200 meters. Oh, well, I'm going up now, because I got scared. We'll just slow down. And we'll go back down, yay! Because it's lagging out my computer like crazy. Here we go. Coming in for another try. We're at the 1,000 mark. Wasn't that far below us, actually. So this is quite high. The nice thing is these engines are powerful enough to keep this going. And what you'll notice me on this landing, I will actually, I'm going to actually speed up time, because or else there is a chance that it just might explode. Like, it's because the fins aren't that stable on the vehicle, and I don't want it to explode. And so I've come up with a trick of, you accelerate time when you touch the ground, and it won't blow up as badly. Just trying to angle the camera to be able to. There we go. Ooh! Here we go, guys. We are on the moon. Finally. Now, the reason why I want to do this, because I haven't seen it done anywhere else. I've looked all across the forums and things like that. I have not seen it done before. So, from that, I'm going to assume that I'm the first one to do it, but I don't know. There may be other people that have been able to do this all vanilla, put a space plane on the moon and bring it back to Kerbin. Well, we still have to bring it back to Kerbal Space Center, so I'll just show you that. Let's bring it to normal time. Oh, wow. Wait, no, there, that piece right there. That piece broke. Just inspecting the fins. Yeah, wow, only one piece broke. So we're going to take off and we're going to go 270, because I usually go 270. Okay. So now let's get more into the sun. There we go. This is actually quite a shaded part of the moon. Oh shoot. See, one fin. But here we go. We're gonna take off of the moon. Say goodbye, guys. We successfully did our mission, and it's time to head back home. There we go. Let me angle it a bit better. Turn the camera. Zoom out. And full throttle. Accelerate to the 800 meters per second mark, like usual, and we'll work on the next stage, which is the other hard part, to successfully land at Kerbal Space Center without blowing up, which, you know, I have a tendency of getting things blown up on the way back. So let's see our orbital pathing. Oh wow, we got an escape velocity going here. We'll fix that. As you can see, it's still a little bit laggy just because we still have a ton of parts moving here and have to figure out how to allocate more memory to Kerbal Space Program. So that'd be cool. All that circling around each other. Okay, so we're on the escape trajectory. We're going to go out a bit more and then we'll stop, turn around, and fire the opposite direction to be able to get a return trajectory to our good old home. Because who doesn't love home? There we go, we're on an Kerbin pathing structure. And here we go. Coming in. I'm going to bring this down to the 40 mark. As you know, I like doing these atmospheric decelerations. If you guys have watched me, it's to conserve fuel. I use the atmospheric deceleration to bring my apoapsis in, so I don't have to use the engines to fire the other direction. So, say goodbye to the moon, so it's going to go fly past us. And say hello to the Kerbin. There it is. Oh, whoa, that came up fast. Hello, Kerbin. So, where is our home? Yeah, I'd prefer to land in the daylights because it seems like always we get nighttime landings. I don't like nighttime landings just because it's kind of boring. You don't get to see all this color. And there we go, we hit the atmosphere. Let's rocket into a position where our rocket will not blow up upon orbital deceleration. This is actually how it kind of is how the Apollo missions made it back to Earth, because as you can imagine, to get them coming back from the moon, they're traveling so fast, faster than a bullet. And so they hit the atmosphere, and the heat shield's going to heat up hotter than the surface of the sun. And so they have to be able to get away to reduce that damage on the tiles. Whoa! Reduce the heat on the tiles. So they, not on the tiles, there weren't tiles, it was a burnable heat shield. Rings, they're kind of cool. Burnable heat shield, and what they do is they come dip into the atmosphere, slow down a little bit, go back into what we consider space, so not thick atmosphere, since the atmosphere technically goes on to beyond the moon's orbit. And then, so they go out of the thick part of the atmosphere, and then they dip back in for their final descent into the final descent to what I'm thinking of, final descent into the ocean. But yeah, they were coming back fast. And the people that came back the fastest were, I think it was Apollo 13, because they had to, since they had an explosion on board while they're going to there, they had to go do a slingshot maneuver around the moon to be able to make it back to Kerbin faster than just doing a straight out burn directly towards Earth. And they actually didn't know if the straight out burn directly towards Earth, I forgot what it's called. They didn't know if it even worked, because they didn't know if the explosion caused that engine to have a failure. So they opted for the going around the moon, and they slingshotted back to Earth, and then they actually had to fire up the LEM module thrusters to be able to get start going towards Earth faster, and then also redirecting them. And they came in very, 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 very fast, and that was quite risky, especially since they didn't know what damage was done to everything there. Inside the command module, there was like ice crystals that had formed from them not being in there and just powering down everything. And they didn't know if those ice crystals, when they melted, would get into the electronics and destroy everything. So that was kind of a risky landing. But NASA successfully got them home, and it was quite the amazing feat. Now, that's your history lesson of the day. Apollo 13. Amazing how they got them home. I actually have, so Jim Lovell, he was the commander of that mission, and I actually have a book signed by him called Lost Moon. It's awesome. I'm a nerd like that. Nerds are awesome. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Become a nerd. Because nerds make all the money and rule the world. Just so you know, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. But But yeah, what are you guys interested in, like profession-wise? What do you want to go into as a study, or if some of you are already doing work, what are you working on? But yeah, space is just too cool. I'll speed up a little bit to be able to get a clear path back to Kerbin Space Center. You know what? We're just gonna go straight back in. Okay? We have a good trajectory set up. We're just gonna use it. We'll blast through this engine, then use the rocket in the middle to do the final descent. And since we have plenty of extra fuel left, we will figure out where south is and we'll start going that direction. Okay, it's going this way. And we'll start changing our orbit to come more onto Kerbal Space Center. Now this is a steepish re-entry, which means there's more G's created, which also means that there's more stress on the airplane. It also means it's harder to pull up. There we go. It's harder to pull up after the after re-entry and turn around if I'm going for a what I usually do is with overshooting that I pretend is planned overshooting. Shh, don't tell anybody. There we go. And I'll start pushing this a little out because we will be pushed down a little bit as we enter into the atmosphere, so it won't go directly to there. So we'll add some more velocity. That looks about good. And we'll turn on the engines. And we will keep the ship right there for a steady re-entry. Dang it. So the video cut out there. Resume flight in 3, 2, 1, now. So I accidentally hit the button to turn off the video. Smart of me. But here we go. Just keeping a good re-entry pattern. We may want to extend it since we're actually not coming down fast at all. We're quite a shallow. And we still have plenty of fuel on this first tank. And yeah, basically none of those. Because jet engines don't need to take a lot of fuel. Yeah, we may need to fly for a little bit because we're starting to get a bit more into the atmos. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. And we're starting to hit thick atmosphere. Gonna be keeping our velocity up as much as I can. We're experiencing a lot of G's because it's slowing us down quite quickly. Our engines are kicking in quite well. We have a good moonrise for the landing. Right on the 90 mark. We'll be coming in perfectly into our landing strip. Let me pull up a little bit more because we're slowing down quite a bit. And the pulling up gets us into the thinner atmosphere, which makes us be able to achieve higher speeds. Higher ground speeds, not air speeds. Same air speeds. Different mechanics. Any of you that have pilot ratings or something like that. And we'll just get over there as quickly as possible. We still have quite a bit of velocity behind us, which is cool. But it's also velocity that we can lose whenever we want. And we'll start dipping back down into the thicker part. Let's lower that landing gear, even though we're going supersonic speeds. Oh yeah, zoom in there. So our landing strip is like right there. That's why I like to keep things right by the landing strip. I can find where the landing strip is, especially when it's darker out. There we go. Landing strip right there. So we're coming at the right direction, and then we'll just turn partially. And it'll be a successful landing of the rocket in the middle, where we made it to the moon and back. Isn't it awesome? I think it's awesome. You guys are awesome. Where is it? Let's start leveling off. There it is. I can see it now. Actually, let's keep our velocity moving until we get closer. And it's about 66 meters above. Oh, wow, lag. Above the ground, the landing strip is. So let's start leveling off. We're coming down quite quickly still. And we want to get that down to about 5 meters per second. So we'll. Oh, no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Come on. Land. There we go. Rough landing, but we did it. We made it back to Kerbin from the moon with a space plane. You guys are awesome. Like, comment, subscribe. Sondermarkin out.